no respect for law enforcement, endangering themselves and everybody else on the highway. Joseph Lowe, I don't know if you're a biker or not, but you are. What are your thoughts about what was going on there on the highway? What, right in front of police?
Looked like a peaceful protest to me. Some people do it on the sidewalk. Some people do it on the courthouse steps. Some people go and yell and scream and beat each other up the streets. What are these guys doing? They're exhibiting their incredible talent and skill, because that's not something you just start doing within a couple of days. And they're not hurting anybody. Yes, it's the kind of activity that could hurt themselves or risk their own life. But, tell me one sport that isn't, except for golf, and that's not a sport, that's a game. So I've got no problem with it. And not to mention, they're a little irreverent. And yes, they're saying to the police, you know what, it's come to a time where we don't really care much for your authority and the way that you distribute your authority and the heavy-handedness with it. So yes, it's in your face. And yes, it's a bit obnoxious. But it is First Amendment because they're not hurting anybody.
David tonight writes, it was a friendly police escort, no harm meant. The cops enjoyed the show. I don't think they did, because they're the ones that posted it. And what do you think? I mean, police are looking at this saying, you know what? This is like a sign of the times.
Well, absolutely. Are you talking to me, Vinny? It's
absolutely.
Thank you. I was just thinking, I'm a police lawyer, and I represented our police chief here who recently stepped down, Carmen Best, in Seattle. So just want to give my vantage point. That's blind, ridiculous. It's not acceptable. It's the gutting of enforcement and then the freedom of people to basically engage in May. It's not.
We are, Ann, unfortunately, you're breaking up. We're getting like every other word. It was great, but it was only every other word. We got a little technical difficulty. Right. Next comment comes from Paul, who says, I've seen this for myself yesterday. They're doing this because they already know there are not enough law enforcement to mess with them. Byron, interested in your take on these bikers.
Yeah, I'm okay with the bikers doing what they were doing. I'm not familiar with the laws in Texas as it relates to stunting, which you could maybe argue that they are stunting, breaking the law, and the police, if they're lawfully asking you to pull over, then you should obey that. But it in and of itself doesn't really bother me. What bothers me is maybe if it becomes a larger issue, meaning if it's a larger issue of people just flipping their nose at police and, maybe breaking into buildings. And I'm not saying it's going to go there, but I obviously hope it doesn't go there, because if it does, then I think we're all into a little bit of trouble. But some guys popping wheelies on the highway, hey, just like Joe said, I got to admire their talent. I'm a biker myself, so I can admire that. But if it goes any further as far as touting off to the police, then I think that we should maybe be a little concerned about that.
Look at that, another late-night miracle here on Court TV. We're finding common ground between Joseph and Byron tonight. By the way, Joseph, I think Charles is kind of puts into words, I think, part of the sentiment you were expressing. Charles writes, I think this is the freedom of right. They have not hurt anyone. And when we talk of freedom, this is its perfect definition. Kind of poetic there, huh, Joseph?
I got to admit, that was well said. And I actually liked the way Byron said it as well, who, by the way, I have a lot of respect for, because he cares a lot about his clients. But it's a lot of fun discussing with him, because he brings it. So thank you for that, and your candor and your honesty, Byron.
And same to you, Joseph. I think it's great. In this day and age, too often are we having situations where people disagree and it gets violent or it gets disruptive. I love it that you and I can disagree about something, and hopefully we still can make that steak dinner someday.
There you go.
I'm going to get you that steak. I want that steak, especially Vinny. I owe him a couple of them.
We've got one final comment tonight from Eder, who writes, well, they must get their license plates, arrest them, and book them for endangering the police officers while they were in pursuit. I'm also concerned about the other motorists on the road. Call me crazy. Anyhow, Byron Brown, Joseph Lowe, and Bremner, thank you all so much. It was great having you all on the program tonight. Please come back again soon. All right, folks, don't forget, tomorrow our coverage continues live from D.C., the confirmation hearings for Judge Amy Coney Barrett. You'll see everything from start to finish tomorrow. In the meantime, as always, folks, have a great night. And don't forget, advocates.